Hey guys, just something I wanted to talk about. Yeah. uh, I kind of wanted to talk about this one thing that I was told to talk about, these messages that I get from the Bible because I kind of get messages from the Bible. I read the Bible and God kind of like it would seem like He speaks to me. I believe so. I do. And he told me to talk about this whenever I gave my testimony, whenever I talked about uh, whatever I talked about, like talked about. I was so the place where I committed suicide, it was in another city. It was in another city, and this city I committed suicide. I ended up in the hospital, and I ended up sleeping a lot. And at one point, I woke up and sorry, I don't really want to tell this message, but I have to tell it. I have to. At one point, I ended up. At one point, I ended up. I ended up picking up from this nurse washing me. Like she was like kind of like taking care of me and stuff, and she was like trying to clean me up and stuff because I was dirty, and it made me kind of horny. So I ended up like I grabbed her hand and I put it on, you know what, that place where you shouldn't, like that place where it's private, like it's at the private part. And she thought that was funny, and and she and she kind of like she told me, well, she asked me what do you want what do you want me to do, she asked me what do you want me to do, and I said like well, I I want a blowjob, okay, I want a blowjob. And I was like, it's so fucking rude, it's so fucking disgraceful, it's so fucking shameful, but that's what I said. Like, and she gave me a blowjob, and she like that's it, okay. And the same girl, like she did something else. I was like coming in and out of like consciousness. I was coming in and out of like this black kind of void, which is like sleep, which you get when you sleep very heavily. And well, at one time she came in and she asked me like, she asked me, "Do you want some milk?" And I that was like it took me back, like it took me kind of like by surprise, and I said, "Well, yeah," and she this is true, okay. This is this is true, okay. All of this is true. All of this message is true, okay. And I'm not saying it's to take revenge on her or something like that, because I don't dislike this girl. I don't hate this girl or anything like this. But she wanted to give me breast milk, okay? And so she she made herself ready, and then she got me up, and I did it. I got breast milk from her again. I got breast milk from her, and and I it was an act of like compassion. Okay, it was an act of mercy. It was an act of compassion. Okay, it was an act of care. Okay, but it's weird. It's so weird. But this is like the kind of thing which I would guess a lot of men would kind of like dream about, like a lot of men would actually want. And that's what this girl did for me. She did these two things for me, and she was my age. She was not anything like that. She was a nurse, and there was also something. There was also this other girl. She went in, and she was a nurse as well. She changed in front of me basically, which was like it was thrilling, and I loved it. I loved it a lot. Like I loved it again. But I didn't know. Like it was amazing. I was kind of nervous talking about this because I knew a lot of people would like judge me and stuff, like think that I was going to hell and stuff because of it. But for me, that was like very comforting. It was very comforting at that point in time. I had just committed suicide. I was resuscitated. I survived. I was broken. I was destroyed, and these two girls they made my life kind of easier. Okay, they made my life kind of a little better. Okay, so it was good. Okay, it was amazing. It was amazing, and I guess these two girls were kind of like they were not like they you wouldn't consider them kind of like modest ladies. You wouldn't consider them good ladies, but they might actually have been called like sluts or bitches or whores or something like that. But they gave me something. Okay, they did give me something. Okay. And I wouldn't recommend like being a bitch or a slut or a whore or anything like that. I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you why it's so wrong. Uh, it's basically because whores and sluts and bitches and stuff like that, they kind of like they bankrupt you. They make you they push you so far that you're gonna lose everything. They push you so far. They kind of like steal from you. They steal energy from you. They steal money from you. They steal uh, kind of like safety. They steal secureness. Okay, and it's like some of them wants you to be their house help. They want you to be in your house in their house and help you out and help them out like being in their house and like taking care of all the work and like while they go out and like have a lot of fun in the city and stuff and sleep with men and stuff while you're actually aware of it and some of them they want to have all the money they want you to give them all of your money like prostitutes would like you to be entangled in these relationships and they would like you to They would like you to give you more and more money, give them more and more money. Males, they would probably like you to be their sex slave and their house help, and kind of like a dog, basically, kind of like a dog, okay? And but these two girls, like, they were just acting out of mercy. They were probably in love with me, okay? And they probably had some experience with this, okay? And I try my best to be good to, like, all these girls, because I know they're suffering a lot. I know they have a horrible time. Like, it's not they that made themselves whores, basically. Not usually. It's because men will cheat on them and be not cheat on them. Actually, cheat on them. They will cheat on them. They will be horrible towards them, and these girls will be made into these believers. They will be made into these believers, and they will be made into lovesick, sex loving girls, and they will be made into these girls that have this uncontrollable desire for sex. Okay, and that's why I feel sorry for these girls. I feel sorry for all the girls in the world, because this is what's going on right now. 2018, like, today, is the age of sexual slavery, basically, because that's what girls are being made into, and now men are going to be made into sexual slaves. Okay, so it's all upside down. It's all going right to hell. It's all being destroyed. But these two girls did this for me, and I was very thankful for it. It's a great action. It was a great act of mercy. It was a great act of compassion. It was a great act of care. They took care of me when I was very low, when I was having a very terrible time, when things went really bad for me, when I was suffering so much, and I was so hurt. They took care of me. So, yeah. I just wanted to say that, because I felt like that had to be in on this story time about myself, okay? Yeah.